All right, joining me right now with a reaction, we have Republican Congressman Tom Reed of New York. Good to have you here, sir. Congressman, I'm going to start first on the China front. Do you think they might actually be willing to give a little here? I mean, we are their biggest customer. It's not doing them any favors, right? This whole sort of quote-unquote trade war, if you can call it that, it's not helping China.
No, I would agree with that assessment. This is not sustainable for China. They need to come to the table, and I believe that is exactly where these talks will lead, that they are recognizing that it's not in their interest, nor in America's interest, to continue a protracted trade war. It's time for us to come together. It's time for China to be held accountable for their unfair trade practices, and I think they are in a position to have to sit at the table to resolve this.
You know, Congressman, the difference, however, is that in China, they don't have to get elected. I mean, you got to get elected every 2 years, right? And consequently, if the economy starts to turn, and if corporations start getting kind of upset, including some of, say, your donors, sir, that they can't access the Chinese markets like they used to because of all of these problems, then at what point does it start to really bite into the ability of American politicians to really do what's best here, which is to confront the problem?
Well, I think, Trish, you look at it from the other perspective. You know, China has, they're not subject to election, but I will tell you, they have a tremendous amount of internal strife. If their people don't have an expanding economy to go to work, they can't put food on the table. They can't put a roof over their heads. That causes a tremendous amount of instability in China. And when you look at what China is doing in regards to its debt to GDP, it's not sustainable there either. So China cannot withstand this. And I understand the political pressure, but this elephant needs to be confronted, and that's what we're doing. We're holding them accountable once and for all.
Ignore it? I mean, why is it that I mean, and I shouldn't say they ignore it. Actually, I've talked to former Treasury Secretary Bob Rubin about this, and he's pointed out that China is indeed a big problem, and he tried to address it during the Clinton years. But everybody's tried, right? Tim Geithner, I remember, trying to take this on and spend time in China trying to deal with this. The theft of intellectual property is a real problem for us. And yet no one was quite as vocal about it, shall we say, as this president. Is it because they feared this talk of a trade war? Did they fear a backlash from American CEOs that would say, no, we need to be over there. We want to be over there. It's a big market for us?
I think that pressure was there. But now, obviously, under this administration and with our president, we're seeing a disruptive policy put on the table, and China can't take the risk of not having America follow the status quo, the traditional path, if you would. And so what I believe is happening is they're recognizing that President Trump is serious, and that he is serious about holding them accountable for these unfair trade practices. And now is the time you're seeing results in China's movement, in their policy shifts, to come to the table to recognize they have to resolve these issues.
Real quick, before I let you go, it's very good news that the pastor has been released. Does this show you that sanctions can actually work, Congressman?
Absolutely, and you can get results through strength, and that's what the administration sent to Turkey. Is what it said to Turkey is, we are not going to allow an American citizen to be held captive. And now we should all celebrate, as Americans, as Democrats and Republicans, that Pastor Brunson's coming home and coming home to his family. That is a joint celebration every American should be proud of.
Hear, hear, I agree. Thank you so much. Congressman Reed, good to see you.